Hi folks, HR Funk coming to you live from the Jeep today, and I'm sitting here musing over a comment that I got that it actually came into my channel overnight, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And it represents a mentality that I just don't understand. Maybe some of you do. And this goes back to those point shooting videos that I've made a couple of now, and talking about, shooting from different distances and shooting instinctively and all that. And the person that made the comment took issue with the fact that, again, some others that have commented, I'm not using the technique that this individual thinks I should use. And he makes reference to his preferred technique, which was actually something I've never heard of, which is kind of an accomplishment right there. I mean, I've been around a fair amount of firearms training and firearms instructors during my life. And to come up with something completely foreign to me that I've never even heard of is something that doesn't happen too often. But if I understand what this person is saying correctly, he's referencing a technique that was developed quite a long time ago and is still being taught up to present time. And it's probably a perfectly good technique as far as that goes for gunfighting. But the thing that strikes me is there seems to be a resistance to the idea that potentially things have improved and other people have added their own ideas over the years, and some gunfighting techniques have probably evolved and maybe even gotten better, at least for some people. Now, not everybody does everything exactly the same way. Not everybody learns the same way. Not everybody develops the same way with any kind of psychomotor activity. That's why not everyone is a NFL quarterback, or not everyone is capable of, throwing a fastball or hitting a home run in the major leagues. So this idea, and I'm somewhat acquainted with this from the martial arts as well, because there are some people who have revered instructors that have developed certain techniques that certainly worked for that particular instructor. And there is this idea that everyone has to learn the technique and execute it the way that the revered master did, or else they're not doing it right, or they're somehow not an accomplished martial artist in their own right. And again, there's no recognition that maybe someone else has developed something that works better for this particular individual or those particular individuals. And what eventually seems to happen, and we see this all throughout history. We see this with religion, we see this with politics, we see it with martial arts, we see it with different types of shooting skills, where eventually somebody just gets fed up, so they branch off and start their own school, or they start teaching their own technique or whatever, which works for them. And then all of a sudden they seem to develop the exact same mentality that everyone has to do things the way they're doing it, or they're not doing it right, or they're not going to be able to successfully defend themselves or whatever. And again, this whole thing just strikes me as kind of silly. Different people, as I said a while ago, will learn things different ways. They will develop skills that work better for them than some other people. If you look at professional boxers, many times they are known for a particular technique or a particular combination because that works well for them. That same technique or that same combination doesn't necessarily work well for every other professional boxer out there. So I'm not sure why people get into this mental prison, I guess I'll call it for lack of a better term, where they think everybody absolutely positively has to do things a certain way or they're not going to be able to defend themselves. At least until the point that somebody gets fed up and they go start their own school and start teaching their own technique. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but it's just bugging me and I'm sitting here thinking about it. So I thought I'd share my thoughts with you.